triple. Hansen, right wing, got it.
As the calendar turns to 2025, Mountain West Conference basketball does not take a holiday. Welcome inside ExtraMile Arena, and a Happy New Year, everybody. With two-time Stanford National Champion Angela Taylor, I am Mark Snyder. And Angela, New Year's hoops, these two teams, Air Force and Boise State, matching up for the first time since March 2nd last year when Air Force spoiled Senior Day.
Yeah, well, Happy New Year, partner. Last year, Air Force came in, got Boise State down 20 points early in the game, but Boise State battled back to bring it close, but they were not able to finish up at the end, losing by one, 66-67.
Maya Hansen with 26, her season best, but it was Milani Perry, the last of her 23 points, the game winner with 3 seconds to go, and that's the last time these teams met, and it was the last time Boise State lost on the home floor, and we'll hear that name a lot tonight. Milani Perry, a dynamic scorer for the Academy.
Yeah, Air Force guard Milani Perry, one of 4 returning top scorers for the Air Force squad, is dynamic with the ball in her hands. Once she gets in the middle of the floor, she's able to finish in the mid-range game with some floaters or get to the rim, and with contact, gets herself to the free throw line quite often, and they love on the defensive end to create turnovers. She loves to get out in transition, get easy layups.
For Boise State, they're looking to defend the home floor. Undefeated this season in the non-conference schedule. It will be tough, though, against an Air Force team that's really good defensively, but it's always nice to open your conference season at home.
It's great to be back in the familiar confines of ExtraMile Arena. The coaching staff knows that Boise State needs to get out to an early start to compete with the Air Force Falcons.
Air Force and Boise State, both very strong defensive clubs. Air Force has held their opponents under 70 points in all 10 of their wins, so the challenge for Boise State will be massive.
Yeah, it's going to be who can get out to that early lead and get on the scoring block.
The Falcons and the Broncos coming your way next on the Mountain West Network. Good crowd here on New Year's evening here at ExtraMile Arena with Angela Taylor. I am Mark Snyder, and Angela, Boise State's head coach, Gordy Presnell, the all-time winningest coach in the school history, 16-3 in conference openers. Given the way this season has started out, it's important, I think, for the Broncos to get that first conference win.
Yeah, the Broncos have high expectations for this season. They want to compete for a Mountain West championship, and so that requires you to be able to hold your home court. You have to win at home.
We look at the Broncos starting lineup: Tatum Thompson, Maya Hansen, Danny Bays, Mary Kay Narrow, and Abby Muse, the 5 on the floor. Broncos going to Bays, get a little bit more offense early on.
One of the things that the Broncos like to do is insert Danny Bays into the starting lineup. She's really aggressive defensively, gets out in transition, gets some easy early scoring opportunities, whether they're layups or open threes.
And for the Air Force Academy, they line up this way for their first-year head coach, Stacy McIntyre, Alexis Cortez, Milani Perry, Madison Smith, Jada McNabb, and Joe Huntemer. Set to go our officials, Robert Schofield, Clifford Sims, and Simona Petronites. And we are about set to tip it off. Boise State in the home whites with orange numbers and blue trim. Air Force in their road blues with gray numbers trimmed in whites. And the home opener underway for Boise State. Each team looking for their first win in conference play. And we have a whistle on the jump, and it's a violation against the Academy. It's a foul against Air Force, and so Boise State will get the ball to start, as that one's whistled against Jada McNabb, the sophomore from Rapid City.
Yeah, it looks like the official thought she hooked her opponent on that jump ball.
It's Mary Kay Narrow, career leader in assists at Boise State. Down low for Muse. Abby, nice dish underneath for Tatum Thompson. Nice play.
Beautiful in-out play. Nice awareness by Abby Muse when she got the quick double team to kick it back to the cutting.
Thompson, you can see the bandage on her left side of her face. She took a beating in that game at San Diego State the other day. We'll talk more about that, but good to see she's back in the lineup as Perry goes baseline into the corner with 7 on the shot clock. This is Cortez back on top to Huntemer. Down low McNabb, and that shot is off the mark, and it'll be a shot clock violation.
Great
Boise State, good defense.
Great defensive possession by Boise State right there. They ran Air Force off the three-point line, were out in passing lanes, and made it really difficult for Air Force to execute offensively.
Thompson guarded in the backcourt, and a steal taken away by Smith. Missed the layup, though, and Thompson lets that one go out of bounds, but it'll stay with Air Force.
Well, that's what Air Force loves to do. They want to be really aggressive. If they're able to pick up full court, try to get in passing lanes, get some deflections, be disruptive defensively, that is the catalyst for easy scoring opportunities.
They lead the Mountain West and are 18th in the nation in forcing turnovers. Their opponents turn it over nearly 24 times a game.
That's what Boise State is afraid of, is they want to make sure they take care of the ball early on in this game so that they can get out to a better start than they have recently.
Last year, the Broncos were down 11-2 in the game against the Academy, rallied from a 20-point deficit before losing in the final seconds by 1. Now the officials still discussing possession, and they will give it to the Air Force with 20 on the shot clock. This is Perry. Baseline jumper is a little strong. And the Broncos, Thompson outfights everybody for the rebound. Quickly ahead to Danny Bays. To the trailer, Mary Kay Narrow rattles it home.
Nice job. Great start for Boise State, getting out in transition, and then the second break, Mary Kay Narrow filled the high post perfectly at the elbow, getting a nice open jumper.
Cortez outside. This is Madison Smith from Connell, Washington.
Good D on ball.
Perry. Narrow draws the assignment against Milani. The ball knocked free. Bays dives for it with Smith. But Air Force comes up with it with 7 on the shot clock. Madison Smith spins out, and a foul on Boise State on the rebound.
Another good defensive possession by the Broncos, but you have to close out with a great box out to make sure that you consolidate that great defensive effort. McNabb is one of those players for Air Force that consistently crashes the offensive glass.
She is 14th in the country in offensive rebounds, and she stands only 5'10". So she's very aggressive, and rebounding is really positioning and desire more than height.
Yeah, anticipation, knowing the angles, and then that effort.
Double dribble called against Perry as she bounced the ball, receiving the pass, and put it back on the floor for the turnover.
Great closeout by Mary Kay Narrow. Not getting up out of her stance, closing out and forcing Perry to put the ball on the floor, take an extra step.
Hansen to Thompson and Tatum across the timeline. You can see this suffocating Air Force defense. Maya Hansen too strong with that 3 ball, and Cortez comes up with a rebound. First miss of the game for the Broncos. Baseline Huntemer on top to Perry, now Hansen out on her. Hesitation dribble, nice move to the lane for the 2.
Air Force doesn't have a lot of height on the floor right now, so they're 5 out, nobody in. It's spacing the floor to be able to put the ball on the floor and attack the paint.
Full court pressure by the Air Force. The Broncos, though, break it, and then the pass stolen by Cortez.
It's a good idea, but you can't have lofty passes against this Air Force squad. They get into passing lanes quickly.
Huntemer, Perry. Time on the shot clock with down to 10. Smith with the drive, too strong. Rebound, tipped free. Cortez missed the short jumper, but the Air Force with another offensive board, and they will keep possession.
Again, you have to find McNabb and put a body on her to make sure she cannot get tips or deflections on the glass.
Shot blocked by Thompson.
Nice defensive effort by Tatum Thompson.
Narrow. That one thrown away, stolen by Perry. Finds the trailer, Huntemer in the lane. The floater is off the mark. Boise State with the rebound and then the turnover as Huntemer has it blocked by Thompson. Did not give up on the play, Tatum Thompson.
That's why you have to love Tatum Thompson, the effort. The reason why she has a bandage on her eye, the reason why she hit the floor so often in her last game is because she's all out every play, making sure that she gives extra effort. You got to love having a player like that on the floor.
Keely O'Halloran from Lake Oswego's Lake Ridge High School checks in. Perry sits for the Falcons. Huntemer. And that one thrown away, but run down by Madison Smith. Trouble on the outside with it, but gets it up to O'Halloran. Narrow with some really good defense.
Great
6
job
on the
moving
shot clock.
Yeah, great job moving her feet by Narrow. Nice closeout and switch.
Cortez baseline rattles out, got it away before the shot clock expired. And then the steal by Madison Smith underneath for Cortez.
This is what the Air Force loves to do. Like, you cannot throw lofty passes cross court. They are going to get in the passing lanes and get steals.
Danny Bays from Australia, cross court. Hansen from Montana, shot it from Montana, buried the 3.
Beautiful skip pass and awareness by Danny Bays. Nice right on time and on target for the wide open jumper.
Bays hits 44% of her 3-pointers, and Boise State has the 3-point advantage. Bays cuts off Smith. Shot is off the mark. Air Force being aggressive on the offensive glass. That 3-ball ties it. Madison Smith.
Well, and this is why Air Force has 10 wins in the preseason, is everybody who's on the floor is going to give extra effort. They're in great shape, they're competitive, and they're really aggressive.
The lob into Abby Muse, and she is fouled. And we will take a timeout. 4:45 to go as we watch it again. The 3-pointer from the corner for Boise State. We're tied at 7 here in Boise. Tied at 7, and Angela, we look at the keys to tonight's game.
Yeah, for Air Force, it's all about defense. They want to be able to pick up full court, be disruptive, get in passing lanes, create easy turnovers for layups. And then for Boise State, they've talked constantly with the team all during the break about the first 5 minutes, getting out to a great start, and they need to produce in the paint. There's not a player on this Air Force roster who's over 6 foot. So can they pound the ball inside? Can they attack the paint off the dribble and establish that paint presence?
Emily Adams checks in for Air Force. Natalie Pasco in for Boise State, and that one is turned over again. Here comes Air Force. That is now the
sixth turnover.
Sixth turnover by the Broncos. Adams with an off-balance flip, doesn't go, and Boise State's Mary Kay Narrow to Hansen in the corner, looking down low for Muse. She's got the height advantage over 5'8" Madison Smith, but they can't get the ball to her. They go down low for the layup by
Libby Hutton.
Abby Muse for the 2.
Libby Hutton did a nice job of posting up on that low block, getting that paint presence, and then a nice job of dumping it to her post partner, Abby Muse.
And on the drive, a whistle. So Hutton and Pasco in for Boise State.
Both teams are really judicious in their substitutions right now. Deep roster coming out of the break. Probably conditioning is going to be something you want to be aware of.
Perry doesn't get that one to drop, and Hutton with the rebound gives it to Narrow. Team leader on the floor. High post to Abby Muse. Adams with the reach. Muse drives down low, goes with a drop step in the left hand.
Really good decision by Abby Muse right there. Air Force was denying on the perimeter, which left the lane wide open for a one-on-one move and a nice finish.
Abby's numbers down a bit this year, but when she gets going inside, she can really make a difference. Smith's drive bounces out, but she was fouled by Maya Hansen.
It's good on-ball defense. Smith is very aggressive off the dribble and attacking the paint. You can see right here, she tries to generate a little bit of contact to get herself to the free throw line. She hasn't been able to get off to an early good start, so look at the free throw line, maybe see the ball go in the rim.
87% free throw shooter is Madison Smith, the Eagle 8 squadron. Colorado Springs at the Air Force Academy, her first bucket. She's a senior out of Connell, Washington. and surprise, surprise, was a member of the all-defensive conference team last year. You could say that about almost anybody playing for Air Force. One of two at the line.
Yeah, if you signed to play at Air Force for Chris Gobrecht and Stacey McIntyre, you have to make a commitment to the defensive end.
Taryn Gardner, the freshman in the game for Boise State, that will stay at this end. So it's Gardner, Hutton, Pasco, Muse, and Narrow for the Broncos. Inbounds pass quickly to Hutton, and she scores off the window.
If you execute offensively against this aggressive Air Force defense, you are going to get open looks by setting great screens. That was a great backdoor screen for the cutter.
Broncos shooting 6 of 7 from the field. Outstanding shooting effort. Air Force just 3 of 16 as Perry has that one dance off the iron, but the rebound is Adams. She has that one blocked by Muse. Out to Perry, closely guarded on the wing, and she'll bring it out and reset with 10 on the shot clock.
Boise State's done a nice job on Perry thus far.
She gets that one away but can't convert, and it's run down in the corner by the Broncos. Taryn Gardner. Boise State really ratcheting up the defensive intensity here in the first quarter.
They are, and doing a much better job are the Broncos of taking care of the ball. 6 assists on the 7 field goals made already. If they take care of the ball, they're going to get good looks.
And the jump ball and the possession favors Air Force. And now Elodie Lalott checks in for the first time. She'll replace Abby Muse.
This Air Force defense is giving me some nightmares. It reminds me of the old days when I was playing against University of Washington and Chris Gobrecht. Her defensive system, the defenders are really aggressive, so you have to be patient, take care of the ball, and put the ball on the floor with a lot of confidence.
Three-pointer is off the mark for Keely O'Halloran. Nice screen out by Lalott underneath, and a foul. Hutton. Boise State pushing the tempo.
Doing a really nice job. Narrow is of looking up court. The post players are running the middle of the floor really well right here. Excellent job by Hutton of running the floor. But one thing that they have to watch is you cannot throw loopy passes.
Right.
You have to put some mustard on that pass because Air Force is anticipating the pass and they're moving on the pass versus after someone catches it.
Hutton to the line, just a 50% free throw shooter. Narrow sits, and one of the most improved Broncos, Jada Clark, checks in. The senior from Richland, Washington, her game is really rounded around into shape. The coach is so impressed with the way Jada's advanced and progressed here.
Yeah, really pleased with her leadership as well and lending her voice both in practice and during games.
Hutton with the pair. She's got 4, and the Bronco lead is 7 as we approach a minute and a half here in the first quarter.
Little elevator play, but good job navigating that.
You can explain that one to me later. There's Perry with a drive. She scores off the window.
Well, and that's where Perry's at her best, when she's in the middle of the floor, able to put the ball on the floor and attack their defender off the dribble.
Gardner breaks the press. A lot of responsibility for a freshman to bring the ball up against this pressure.
It is. It's baptism by fire, but she'll be better off for it.
Pasco has that one spin out. The rebound volleyballed around and picked up by Huntemer with a minute to go in the quarter. This is Perry. 16.2 points a game, and you can see why right there. But the free throw line jumper's off the mark, and Ellie Lalott, nice job on the glass.
Really nice job boxing out by Lalott, holding Air Force to one shot.
Lalott lets the traffic go by on top to Hutton. And here's Pasco. Gets the Hutton screen back to Hutton. Her 3-ball sets on the way, no. Gardner with the rebound and the foul. Good follow by the freshman.
Great job by the freshman right there. Boise State's doing a much better job executing offensively. The shot goes up, and on the shot, Gardner attacks the paint. Again, Air Force is going to be extremely aggressive out in passing lanes. And so while they're being aggressive, they're turning their head, and you have a chance to cut to the key for layups or to attack the paint for offensive rebounds.
Gardner from Meade High School in Spokane. Parker Brown of Air Force also went to Meade, as Taryn is now perfect on the season from the foul line, and the Bronco lead is 7. Boise State 6 of 9 from the field, just 4 of 22 for Air Force. They put up 22 shots, in large measure due to their 8 offensive rebounds, but they've had a lot of opportunities, but Boise State's really clamped down. Perry probing, may have traveled, didn't get called. Huntemer's shot is off the mark. Gardner battles for the rebound, but it pinballs over, and it counts for Alexis Cortez at the horn. Tough break for Boise State. Couldn't come up with it, and Cortez gets the bucket as we go to break.
Air Force is never out of it. You have to keep and maintain the ball as much as possible.
Boise State by 5 after 1 here in Boise on the Mountain West Network. The Falcons breaking the huddle around their first-year head coach, Stacey McIntyre, but certainly no stranger. 9 years as an assistant coach under the legendary Chris Gobrecht, and a lot of that Chris Gobrecht strategy you can see in this Air Force team.
Yeah, there's a lot of carryover from all the years that Stacey has coached with Chris Gobrecht. She coached with her at USC for several years before coming to Air Force, and everything is predicated on the defensive end and effort.
And you saw Gordy Presnell, 20th year at Boise State, 36 overall, 365 wins at the helm of the Broncos. Lalott has that one stripped away, and Perry comes up with it. And the 3-ball makes it a 2-point game.
Nice shot by Keely O'Halloran. Great execution in transition. You're going to get open threes as the defense retreats to the paint.
Clark outside, picked up there by Cortez, who beat the first quarter buzzer with that shot. Underneath, it goes to Lalott. Nice look by Hutton to Lalott.
Nice job by the Broncos of executing against this zone defense that Air Force pulled out. Moving the ball, getting the ball into the middle of the floor, and then going high-low. That middle of the paint is going to be open against that zone.
Perry with a head of steam underneath. Lalott sends that one out of bounds.
And yet another block. This allows you defensively for Boise State to be really aggressive on ball, because you know in the paint you have Lalott, you have Muse, you have Tatum Thompson patrolling that lane and blocking shots. 6
block shot by the Broncos already here in the early going of the second quarter. Perry weaves through traffic, but the pass instead comes to Adams, and now gives it up to Jordan Devon in the game for the first time from Little Elm, Texas. This is Madison Smith. Devon fires too strong, and Gardner up high for the rebound.
Nice job by Gardner, and a much better job by the Broncos of boxing out and holding Air Force to just 1 shot.
Mary Kay Narrow back in the game, gets it over to Gardner, the freshman. On top to Natalie Pasco. Picked up there by Perry, gets it out down low. They go to Lalott, who puts it in. Nice feed from Narrow from the wing.
Excellent pass in the post, but great job by Lalott on that low block. Established herself one-on-one on the low block, and then great footwork to finish.
On the drive, Devon changed her shot thanks to Pasco's pressure, and Natalie comes down with the ball, gets it to Narrow. Weaves her way through a congestion on the sideline. Ahead to Pasco. Hutton was wide open, but Pasco didn't see her. Has the ball stripped, but gets it back, gets the Lalott screen. Spins, Pasco kind of puts up an off-balance shot, and that was not the possession that Gordy Presnell wanted.
That was not. Pasco, once you pick up your dribble, Air Force is going to attack you, so you have to try to keep your dribble alive.
Like ants at a picnic, they're all over
goodness,
you.
Yes.
Hansen and Bays set to check back in for Boise State, leading by 6 here in the second quarter. Outside to Cortez, and this is Perry. Narrow on the assignment defensively. Devon, and there's going to be a foul on Boise State as Pasco, trying to fight through the screen by Adams, commits the personal foul.
Yeah, when you're fighting through those screens, you got to try to get over the screen with your lower body. Pasco was trying to fight through with her shoulder, and that created the contact that caused that foul.
Good minutes from Gardner, Clark, and Pasco as Boise State brings Hansen, Thompson, and Bays back onto the floor. This is Adams at the top. Gives it to Perry. Narrow hits the deck, and she's favoring an ankle, but the basket by Perry is good. Makes it a 4-point game. Perry now 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Correction, 6 points on 3 of 10. Danny Bays. Narrow.
Triple team on the baseline. Nice help side by Air Force.
Finds Lalott underneath. Elodie can't get it to go. Gets the rebound and puts it home.
Great job of sticking with it with Lalott. Air Force had triple teamed Boise State's player on the baseline, but did a nice job cutting to the rim by Lalott, creating an open look for your teammate.
Elodie Lalott with 6 points. She's the leading scorer on the floor for the Broncos.
And Boise State in their own 2-3 zone right now as well.
Smith goes baseline. Ball knocked free and stolen by Hansen. Maya does not have a lot of help, so she'll slow things down. A lot of blue back quickly for Air Force, as you might expect. And so the Broncos will set the offense. Hansen looking for space. Spins on Cortez, kicks it out to Thompson. Tatum is fouled as she drives to the basket.
Well, Emily Adams got a little bit too aggressive. She did a nice job moving her feet and cutting her off on the baseline. But as you can see right here, she reaches in right at the end, creating contact against Thompson.
Thompson, we talked about the bandage. 2 plays against San Diego State that really frightened a lot of folks. She was trying to save the ball on the sideline and came down, landed on her head. And then later in the game, an inadvertent elbow by a teammate going for a rebound and drew blood, but Tatum cleared and passed concussion protocols, and she's out there tonight. Here's a jumper in the lane, curling home for Madison Smith. And just like that, it's a 2-point game.
And that's where Smith and Perry are so good, is off the dribble in the middle of the lane, whether it's a 1 or 2 dribble pull-up jumper at the elbow or at the nail.
Correction, a 4-point game as Hansen does her best Curly Neal impression on the sideline opposite us. Boise State having a little trouble getting in an offensive rhythm with this group on the floor. 8 on the shot clock. Bays traveled as she tried to make her move.
Yeah, Bays caught the ball and then took a little bit of a hop step before she made her decision to make that move. Coming off the screen right there, just a little extra step right there. Again, Boise State needs to take care of the ball. Air Force is going to be extremely aggressive out in the passing lanes, and on ball, just have to be patient and confident.
5 minutes to go in the half. Deep 3, spins out. Thompson for the rebound. Out ahead to Bays, to the cutter. Thompson with the left hand.
Great job. I love how Danny Bays runs the floor, creating some mismatches, and then Thompson did an excellent job running down the middle of the floor.
Perry, short baseline jumper, spins off. Rebound is out of bounds to the Falcons as Lalott could not get out of the way. Boise State with the 6-point lead. The pass underneath. Elodie Lalott with 6, and the Broncos are up here in the first half. Boise State taking advantage of their height advantage. And you see Elodie Lalott with 6 points. Broncos living in the paint.
Doing an excellent job. Lalott, Hutton, and Muse are great on the low block, particularly when they're one-on-one. But Boise State is also taking advantage of their ball handlers. Every player that is on the floor is able to put the ball on the floor and attack the paint. And by doing so, they're creating mismatches, double teams where they can dump it off for cutters or to folks at the three-point line for open threes.
Falcons to inbound, 30 on the shot clock. Perry to do the honors. Gets it over to O'Halloran. Guarded there by Lalott. Tries to take Elodie to the baseline. Little runner, spins out. And the rebound run down by Maya Hansen. She has trouble in the backcourt. It's stolen away by Air Force. This is Smith. Another turnover by the Broncos. And count the bucket for Jordan Devon, the sophomore.
And you can never count the Falcons out of a play. They are constantly getting in passing lanes, trying to get deflections, doubling the ball, and seeing what they can create on the defensive end.
11 turnovers by Boise State, just 4 so far on the Falcons. You can see why Air Force leads the Mountain West in forced turnovers. Danny Bays says, turn over this. She drains the three.
Excellent offensive possession. Again, Air Force is extremely aggressive in the passing lanes. If you set good screens, you're going to get your shooters open for good looks, and that's what happened on that play to Danny Bays.
Perry outside, guarded by Hansen.
Again, Boise State staying in the zone. Air Force has not shot the ball well from the three-point line.
Vaughn, that one no good, and then the rebound knocked out of bounds. But there's that Jada McNabb again, averaging 8 rebounds a game, and she got way up on that one but couldn't hold on.
She did, and if Boise State is going to be in this zone, it's really difficult to box out of a zone. You have to find, the first person you should find in the zone is Jada McNabb and try to put a body, 1 or 2 bodies on her to keep her off the O-glass.
Full court pressure by the Falcons. Narrow across the timeline, gets it to Thompson. Tatum in the corner to Bays. Bays drives baseline. Dishes it underneath for Abby Muse for 2 more in the paint.
That is what's going to be open. Dribble penetration, and when the defense comes to help, hitting cutters.
Diving for that ball on the baseline was Bays. She's okay. Thompson with the deflection, and Bays trying to save it as we watch this again. This is the dish inside to Muse. Got inside of Cortez, and a nice feed for the bucket. Broncos now 10 assists on their 12 buckets. Smith double dribbles or travels. Take your pick. Result is a turnover by the Falcons.
Nice job by Boise State coming over for help side, creating that turnover. And now with this full court pressure, take care of the ball and make nice crisp passes cross court.
Hansen guarded there by Smith. High post to Thompson. Tatum, and she is fouled on the way by. Perry gets her. Perry says she got ball. The official said no, she got elbow. We watch it again. And there it is. And it looked from behind like an elbow, but hard to see from that angle.
Yeah.
But the Broncos with the basketball. Second team foul on the Falcons. Underneath for Muse, too tall for her, and it goes out of bounds. Good idea by Bays, just not well executed.
I would love to see her make 1 extra pass to the high post. In this defensive system, the low post defender is constantly trying to get in front of the post player, so there's going to be a high-low opportunity if you quickly reverse the ball to the high post and let the post player pin and seal their player.
Huntemer with the brace on her right leg. Gets it over to O'Halloran. Back on top to Cortez. And O'Halloran loses the ball out of bounds, or Huntemer rather, just lost it on the dribble on the baseline.
Boise State did a really nice job navigating screens, and as soon as the Air Force player put the ball on the floor, she was able to see 1 or 2 players from Boise State in help side, which created that turnover.
Pasco checks in along with Taryn Gardner, and now the turnover in the backcourt. Smith doesn't go, and they battle for the rebound, and Air Force gets the ball on the alternating possession. But that's what you were saying, Angela, that just that pesky defense makes life really complicated.
And this is one of the reasons that Madison Smith was on the all-defensive team for the Mountain West Conference. Extremely aggressive on ball, quick hands, getting lots of steals, and then super aggressive.
And a foul from the outside on the Smith layup will earn a couple free throws for Madison, an 87% free throw shooter.
Well, this is where Smith gets a lot of her scoring opportunities. It's out of their press, their full court pressure. She's on the top of that press. They get quick hands on ball, gets a lot of steals and deflections, and then gets herself to the free throw line because she's so physically talented. When she takes the ball to the rim, she's trying to create contact and get herself to the free throw line or a three-point opportunity.
Hits the pair. Hutton checks in for Boise State. Replaces Tatum Thompson. Tatum leaves with 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 fouls. Pasco also with 2 fouls. Nobody, Air Force, McNabb and Adams each with 2 fouls. And then a turnover by the Broncos at midcourt.
And then Madison Smith. I would suggest whoever Madison Smith is guarding does not be the player brings the ball up the floor, because she is just so disruptive on ball, just constantly using her hands to get deflections, moving her feet to stay in front of her player.
So you pass your way out of a full court press instead of trying to dribble?
Well, Boise State has multiple ball handlers, and so as opposed to having one player have to zigzag full court, particularly with Madison Smith, see if you can get some of the ball in somebody else's hands, which they're doing right now with Taryn Gardner against Perry.
O'Halloran gets the members' roll on that for 3 ball, cuts the lead to 4 with a minute and a half to go in the half. Narrow has it poked away, and Boise State retains possession as Jada Clark checks in for Narrow.
I'll tell you what, Smith is relentless on the ball. She's constantly reaching in. It's almost like you want to bait her a little bit, get her to reach in, and use her aggressiveness against her.
Clark gets the Muse screen. Almost lost it again. Ball free. Muse, near side Gardner. Taryn goes baseline, up and under, and scores.
That was a really difficult shot right there. Stayed on the same side of the basket as she had, but used her body to ward off the defender. Nice job by Taryn Gardner, the freshman.
Outside, it's O'Halloran. Now this is Huntemer. Back to O'Halloran. She'll launch the 3. That's short. And the Aussie, Hutton, up for the rebound from Perth, Australia. Jada Clark past that pesky Smith. Jada in the corner, wide open. Pasco can't get it to drop. Rebound on the deck, picked up by the Air Force. This is Huntemer. Leads the scattered breakdown to Perry. Cut off nicely on the baseline. Back to Huntemer. 22 seconds to go in the half. 18 now on the shot clock. Falcons can essentially hold for the final shot, trailing by 6. Perry weaves to the right, drives on Pasco, and drew the foul on Natalie, and that'll be 3 on Pasco with 5.9 seconds to go in the half. That's a big play.
It was a really big play, sending her to the free throw line. A nice job defensively by Gardner on the ball. You knew that Perry was going to try to attack the paint and get to the rim. Just keep moving your feet and make her shoot over you.
A break for Boise State. They actually assessed the foul on Jada Clark, not Pasco, as Perry hits the first free throw. She's a 77% free throw shooter. And rattles both of those home, and with 5.9 seconds to go, the Broncos just have to take care of the basketball. Gardner up and under, doesn't get it to go. The tip by Muse, no good, and it's a closely fought, as we expected, defensive struggle. Boise State leading Air Force at the half, 32-28. Halftime stats and more come your way next on the Mountain West Network. Boise State up 32-28 at the half with Angela Taylor. I am Mark Snyder. And Angela, when you look at this game, we expected defense to be the key, but Boise State inside, Elodie Lalott really coming through here tonight.
The Broncos definitely have a size advantage. Bringing Lalott off the bench, she does a great job of establishing herself on the low block offensively, and then defensively has a nice presence. She's one-on-one on the low block, Elodie Lalott. I love when she's patient, when she takes her time. She has great footwork and great hands, and is able to finish there at the rim.
Her field goal here in the first half, eclipsing the 450 field goals in her career, as the fifth-year player is really valuable now off the bench for Gordy Presnell.
Absolutely, that post presence, and we've talked all game long, and the coaching staff is really focused on their desire to get the ball in the paint and attack the paint to free up some open shooters as well. And Lalott coming off the bench is able to do that one-on-one on the low block, establishes herself, does a nice job of running the floor. And that's where Boise State has been able to get out to this 4-point lead, is by getting out in transition and getting easy open looks.
Danny Bays to Tatum Thompson there. Boise State in that first half shooting 13 of 21 for 62% and holding the Air Force to just 26% shooting. But the big number that really stands out, Broncos have turned it over 14 times, and that's one reason why the lead is just 4 here at the break.
Well, an Air Force with 10 steals. We know that they're going to be extremely aggressive defensively. They've been picking up full court the entire game. So Boise State in the second half, I'm sure the coaching staff is going to be focusing on this, how to make adjustments and do a better job of taking care of the ball, breaking that press, and then in the half court doing a better job of executing against that pressure and that defensive intensity from Air Force.
The Falcons 14 points off turnovers here in the first half, and that's half their points so far have come off of Boise State turnovers.
Well, you have to love the effort that you see from the Falcons defensively. They are never out of a play, particularly with Madison Smith on the front of that press. Just quick hands. It's extremely aggressive, and they are constantly looking just to get deflections or tips or steals, and they've had a lot of easy scoring opportunities. They're only 10 of 38 from the floor, 17 more field goal attempts. If they can do a better job of making some of those bunnies, they might be able to chip into this lead.
Broncos by 4. We are at the half. We'll be back with more from Boise, Idaho after this timeout on the Mountain West Network. Welcome back inside Extra Mile Arena. Good New Year's Day crowd on hand, and they see their home team Broncos leading 32-28 at the half over the Air Force Academy. Boise State's head coach Gordy Presnell looking to go 14-2 in conference openers. The Broncos, strong play in the preseason, Angela, 10-3, and their best non-conference mark since 2016-17.
Returning most of their players, high expectations coming into the season, and coming out and doing a great job with this non-conference schedule, particularly here at home, 7-0 at home. This is exactly what you want if you're Coach Presnell and the coaching staff as you establish yourself heading into conference play. A lot of confidence, a deep roster who all are getting a lot of crucial minutes.
Boise State returned almost 93% of their scoring, third most in the NCAAW. All 5 starters and 12 letter winners, just amplifying your point, Angela, that a veteran club knew what to do when the season started.
They knew what to do. They put the work in the off season. You can tell from a player to player, every conversation you're in, they all were here, they were working out, they were getting better, working on their craft, because they had high expectations. They want to compete for that Mountain West Conference championship.
We touched on some of the first half stats. Broncos shooting extremely well, almost 62%, holding the Air Force to 26%. And rebounding, of those 16 rebounds, 11 are on the offensive glass, and that itself has kept Air Force in the game.
Well, the best thing that Air Force does, they defend, so they've already created 10 steals with this Boise State Broncos team, and then they crash the glass. It's all about effort and intensity, and that's what we've seen from the Falcons. What I love from Boise State is 14 bench points already, and that demonstrates how much depth they have on this roster. Coach Presnell can go to any player at any given moment.
Boise State up 4. We are at the half. Second half comes your way next after we take this time out, live on New Year's night from Boise. Welcome back to Extra Mile Arena. Boise State on top of Air Force 32-28. We are at the half. Boise State looking for their first conference win after falling at San Diego State the other day, 74-59. Air Force coming off of a loss to New Mexico, 69-63. The Falcons will next play Nevada. They will host the Wolfpack on Saturday before traveling to San Jose and UNLV. And then you see Fresno State, Wyoming at Nevada, and hosting Utah State. That's the Falcons looking to improve on their 10-3 overall record. On the other side of the slate, Boise State coming in at 10-4. As I mentioned, the loss to San Diego State, the open conference play. They will host UNLV. Catch that one here Saturday on the Mountain West Network at 6 o'clock. Then they travel to Utah State, where the Aggies are really struggling this year, just 1-13. Continue the road trip at Fresno before coming home for a couple games against San Jose State and Nevada. Then a trip to Fort Collins to take on Colorado State's Rams, and then back home against the Lobos on the 28th to round out the month of January. We checked the scores elsewhere in the Mountain West. This is the only game still in action so far today. Colorado State beat San Diego State 67-56. UNLV, no trouble with San Jose State, winning by 20 in San Jose, 90-70. New Mexico wins at home against Nevada, 70-62. And Wyoming hands Utah State their 13th loss, 73-53 in Laramie. So as you look to the second half, Angela, if you're the coaches, let's put you in Boise State's locker room. What have you told your team at the break?
Again, you want to reiterate, we have to get out to an early start. So the first 5 minutes of the third quarter are going to be incredibly important for Boise State. And the focus is going to be on taking care of the ball, executing offensively, and getting good looks. For Air Force, very similarly, they've done a great job defensively creating chaos with the Broncos. They just have not been able to convert some of those steals they've had into easy scoring opportunities. And so continue to be disruptive defensively and try to get better looks. Their two best players, Smith and Perry, are doing a nice job, but they're just not efficient from the floor right now.
Boise State led in scoring by Abby Muse and Eldie Lalott, each with 6 points. 4 points for Tatum Thompson, Taryn Gardner, and Hutton, Libby Hutton. For Air Force, Perry and Smith both leading the way. They're leading scorers with 8 points apiece. O'Halloran with 6, Cortez with 4. Balanced scoring for Boise State, and as you said earlier, Angela, 14 bench points shows the depth of this Broncos squad.
It does. Everyone that's on the floor for Boise State has the capability of being able to score. So that is really a huge threat when you're playing against an aggressive defensive team like Air Force. Everybody has the possibility to be able to score. They just have to be patient with the ball.
Tatum Thompson inbounds to Mary Kay Narrow, the second half underway. Narrow, Bays, Thompson, Hanson, and Muse, the original 5 on the floor for Boise State. Cortez, Perry, Smith, McNabb, and Hunnemer on the floor for the Falcons in blue. Pass underneath for Muse. She saves it, but then it's taken away by Perry, and here comes the Air Force off another turnover by the Broncos, their 15th. Perry in the paint, gets it to Smith. Smith drives the left-hand runner, no. She gets the offensive rebound, kicks it down low, and the Falcons will reset. Another offensive board for Air Force. Perry airballs that 3, and then a foul in the backcourt as McNabb hip checked Mary Kay Narrow.
It looks like a frustrating offensive possession by Air Force. And they can't get any easy scores unless it's from a steal or in transition. Boise State's done a really nice job of moving their feet, keeping the Air Force player in front of them, and making it difficult for them to get open looks.
Hanson spots up for 3. It's on the way, in and out, no good. And Smith with the rebound.
It was a rare open look for Boise State, night execution.
Smith goes all the way, and then Abby Muse says, not in my house.
Not in my house. The 8th block for the Broncos already in this game. Again, you love the fact as a guard that you can be really aggressive on ball, because as soon as your player gets by you, Abby Muse is patrolling the paint and does a great job of blocking shots.
Muse's second block on the game. And the Broncos with the basketball. Here's that full court press by Air Force. Narrow breaks it. It's a 3-on-1. Tough pass for Bays, and then cutting through is Perry. Danny Bays had trouble with the pass. Abby Muse was open, but the delay there because of the fumbled pass allowed Perry to get in the passing lane.
Yeah, the Air Force players hustle so much throughout the game. They do not leave these openings open for long.
Muse muscles up, missed the shot, and the rebound is tipped out to Cortez for the Air Force. Still looking for our first points here in the second half. But Muse had the right idea, take it inside against a much shorter opponent.
Definitely has a size advantage.
This is Adams now in the game for Air Force. Smith gets the Adams screen, drives underneath, spins, dishes it for the bucket by Emily Adams.
That was great help side by Muse coming over, and just a better job by Madison Smith of being patient, getting the defense up off their feet and dishing it to an open player.
Bays gets the errant pass but can't get it to drop. Muse with the rebound, protected from prying hands. Bays for 3, count it from the left wing.
The best and most efficient shot to take from 3 is off of offensive rebounds. The defense is in the key. They haven't found their players, and that left Bays wide open for 3. She got a second chance opportunity.
Each team 3 of 9 from long range. Perry bailed out on that play as she gets fouled. Kind of caught in no man's land, but was able to draw the foul.
Yeah, and we're seeing both of these teams not shooting the ball well, both 33% from the three-point line, and that's as advertised. They're both 1 and 2 in Mountain West Conference, holding their opponents to 27% from the three-point line. They do a great job of running their opponents off the three-point line and making it really difficult to get open looks.
The foul was on Danny Bays, her first, and Perry misses her first free throw attempt. Cortez, Perry, and Smith played all 20 minutes in that first half. Air Force not nearly as deep as Boise State, so relying more on their starters. And that pass picked off by the Falcons. Perry for 3, spins it out. The rebound on the floor, run down by Hunnemer, and another offensive board for the Falcons, trailing by 4.
It's like a great football team always talks about defensively, everyone's running to the ball. And that's the same thing that Air Force does on any offensive rebound. They're all running toward the loose ball.
Smith puts in the 3, and it's a 1-point game. Smith now with 11 to lead the Falcons, and this pressure is relentless.
Well, they're actually trapping on ball in the second half.
And that will be Air Force's ball on the alternating possession. Air Force, I think, getting away with a couple fouls in the backcourt on reaches, but they're going to give the ball to the Falcons on the alternating possession, and Boise State having a tough time against this Falcon defense right now.
Well, sometimes the officials reward the more aggressive team. Air Force has established themselves as being extremely aggressive this entire game, particularly in their full court pressure.
Smith for 3, that's too strong. Bays with the rebound, she charges up the floor, gets it underneath. Tatum Thompson curls it home.
That could have been an and one. A great pass by Danny Bays off the dribble. Notice that she didn't take her time. She didn't try to pick up the ball and pass. She passed it off the dribble.
Thompson getting down the floor quickly, too, made herself available for the basket. And there's a 2-point from the right wing by Hunnemer.
Nice job by Perry of navigating that on-ball screen and getting to the elbow, which is where she's really effective.
Back to a 1-point game. Broncos underneath. Abby Muse got too far under the basket. Gets it out to Narrow. Yeah, it was Perry with the last shot, not Hunnemer. And that was 11 points for Perry, then a foul on Air Force.
Nice job by Narrow of attacking the paint. Help slide came over soon, but she did not go straight up. So if you're Emily Adams, you just want to make sure that you don't swing at the ball. You just go straight up.
Adams with her 3rd personal foul. And Narrow hits the first. Mary Kay, 85% free throw shooter. Extends the lead to 2, now 3. Rattling that one home. Boise State looking to avenge last year's 1-point loss to Air Force on senior night and locked in a tough one with the Falcons here. Inside 5:40 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Ball knocked free, picked up in the back court by O'Halloran. Fakes the handoff, keeps the ball, gets it to Smith on the baseline. She goes under the basket, tries to get some space, missed the shot, and Abby Muse gets the rebound, harassed by Smith, who is just pesky. And now the Broncos on the offensive end. Danny Bays spots for 3!
That's the perfect example of why Boise State's coaches want their players to attack the paint. Attack the paint, use that aggressiveness from Air Force to their disadvantage, and create open looks.
6th game this season, Danny Bays has multiple 3-pointers. She's 3 of 4 from the field, all from beyond the arc with 9 points. Smith drives on Narrow, and they're going to get a foul on Mary Kay Narrow, a bit of a ticky-tack call underneath, and that sends us to a timeout. Boise State with 4:51 to go. Danny Bays, 3 3-pointers, and the Broncos lead here in Boise. We've talked all about this Air Force defense tonight, and boy, they are doing it again. Angela leading the Mountain West in steals, and they have a dozen so far tonight.
This team has made the commitment to the defensive end. They are playing 40 minutes of active, aggressive, intimidating defense. They're extremely aggressive on the ball, and then they're getting in passing lanes as this Air Force Falcons team. It's just fun to watch and not fun to play against.
Shot blocked by Bays, and they're going to whistle Danny for the foul. Watch this one again. Inside Cortez, and Bays got a bit of the arm.
When you can tell the Boise State players are trying to figure out, like, Air Force is extremely aggressive. They're able to kind of be aggressive with their reach-ins and their physicality. Can we be as physical?
Cortez, a 64% free throw shooter, her 5th point, and that one is no good, and Abby Muse with the rebound. And look at Smith, and they're going to call Smith for being a little too aggressive, gets the foul call.
Well, it's amazing that is Madison Smith's first foul. She has been extremely aggressive for all 23 minutes that she's been on the floor, reaching in, trying to get steals, and for that to be her first foul is pretty impressive.
Narrow with the kick out to Hanson, and she traveled.
Good job by Perry again of closing out on balance and not getting up off her feet.
Watch this one again. Does she?
Yeah, just a little extra step before she put
Maybe
the ball on
a
the
little
floor.
hop, skip, and a jump. And
in the NBA, that would have been a great move, but college basketball, not so much.
Falcons with the ball. Perry, and they're going to call a foul on Narrow. Perry trying to turn the corner, and Mary Kay Narrow with her 2nd personal foul.
Yeah, watch, Narrow did a good job of getting over the screen and avoiding that screen on the ball, but it was a little bit too aggressive with the forearm shiver.
4th foul on the Broncos, 3 on Air Force. As we approach 4:20 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Splitting the defense is Perry. Shot is blocked from behind by Muse, but they're going to call Abby with the foul, and suddenly Boise State, the fouls are adding up here in the 3rd quarter.
They are. And a really nice read by Perry right there. You see Narrow is trying to force her away from the screen, and as opposed to going toward the baseline off the dribble, Perry did a great job of splitting the defenders. Boise State needs to do a better job. The post player can't get too wide from the guard, or else she'll be able to split that screen.
Pasco Lalott into the game, along with, can't see the official, is screened out.
Taryn Gardner.
Yeah, Taryn Gardner perhaps into the game. There was Taryn Gardner as Perry hits the 2 free throws. And it's back to a 3-point Boise State lead. Gardner in the backcourt, Perry on her.
No trapping in this particular until they get to half court.
Gives it up to Narrow. 13 now for Perry, leading all scorers. Thompson drives, muscles it up, doesn't get it to go, but drew the foul. Nice aggressive move there by Tatum Thompson, the junior from Woodinville, Washington.
Really confident and aggressive move off the dribble, attack the paint, make sure your defender is moving your feet, or you're able to create contact and get to the free throw line. A nice job by Tatum Thompson.
Thompson averaging 10.4 points a game. And that one through for her 7th point tonight. The foul was on O'Halloran, her 2nd. And she hits a pair, and the Bronco lead back to 5, and it's hovered in that 3 to 5 range here most of the second half.
It has, and Boise State's done an excellent job from the free throw line, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Continue to be aggressive and use Air Force's aggression against them. Get yourself to the free throw line.
Perry with a nice move, can't get it to go, and Elodie Lalott pulls down her 3rd rebound. And that's a pass that's just begging to be picked off. Knocked away by the Air Force. They have the break. Corner, right side, O'Halloran doesn't get it to go.
Good blocks out by Thompson.
Broncos dodge a bullet there. That was the example of the kind of pass you cannot throw against this Air Force team.
Yeah, long cross-court passes are really tough to complete.
Lalott with the move. Missed the shot but drew the foul. That was almost like a safety playing center field there on that defense.
It was, and that's what Air Force does a nice job of. Great job right here by Lalonde, establishing herself on the low block. Good footwork there. And again, Air Force is extremely aggressive. You use some shot fakes. If you're patient, you might be able to create some fouls, get yourself to the free throw line.
Lalonde just a 47% free throw shooter. First miss of the game for the Broncos. 6 points on 3 of 4 from the field. But makes 1 of 2, and the Boise State lead now is 6. The Broncos come out in that zone defense. Perry spins, fires, hits. Tough shot, nicely done by Perry.
Nice job by Air Force. Against that 2-3 zone, the middle of the key, the high post is going to be open, and they're putting their guard, Perry, there because she's so great in the mid-range, mid-post.
Pasco misses the 3 ball. It's bounced around and picked up by O'Halloran. Broncos with a quick shot, couldn't convert. O'Halloran in the forecourt. Smith will fire the 3 and drain it.
Well, if you're Boise State and you're getting back into a zone, you have to make sure you match up out of transition, or else you're going to leave open looks for Madison Smith, as that just happened.
Smith just a 28% three-point shooter, but she buries that one, makes it a 1-point game. Thompson. Outside left, drives on O'Halloran, pulls up and hits the jumper. Nice looking shot.
Boise State is really good when Tatum Thompson is aggressive. We've seen it the last 2 times down the floor where she's had the ball in her hands, really aggressive off the dribble.
She's in double figures tonight. O'Halloran missed that one. Lalonde with the rebound, protects the ball, and then a reach-in foul on Smith. To the delight of a very good crowd here at ExtraMile Arena in Boise, and it's now bonus situation as you see this one again. There's the foul on Smith. That is her second, and free throws for Mary Kay Narrow.
I can see why the Air Force coaching staff and players are a little bit surprised. That is probably one of the least aggressive attempts at a steal that Madison Smith has had, and hasn't had too many called on her today.
I guess it only goes to show that the Air Force Academy would be good defending our nation and defending the basketball.
As they should.
As they should. The character fits. Narrow with a pair. The 5-point lead for the Broncos under 2 minutes. Perry at the mid-post. Kicks it out. Smith fires. Doesn't get the roll this time. Lalonde with a good screen out gets the ball.
Again, very difficult to box out against the zone. Nice job by Elodie Lalonde.
Narrow calling for the screen. Lalonde sets it. Narrow, she's going to be bruised after tonight. Outside, Pasco too strong, follows her shot. Doesn't get that one to go. Lalonde with the rebound, and she will go to the line. Elodie Lalonde came to play tonight.
She did, and Boise State giving Air Force a little taste of their own medicine, doing a great job of attacking the offensive glass and creating second chance opportunities.
And if that's Smith, that'll be her third, and that is the case.
All here in the third quarter.
She will sit. McNabb checks back in. We really haven't heard a lot from Jada McNabb tonight. Bit of a surprise.
Well, I think where McNabb does her damage is on the offensive glass. She's done a nice job early on in the first quarter, but Boise State responded by doing a better job of boxing her out.
Mary Kay Narrow gets a much-deserved rest. Clark in for her. I think Mary Kay may want to spend some time in the cold tub tonight because she is taking a lot of punishment trying to bring the ball up against this very aggressive Air Force defense.
Yeah, and a really good substitution there with Madison Smith going to the bench. She's their best on-ball defender. Now you might have a good chance to get Narrow a break of getting off ball.
Lalonde now with 8 points as she split the 2 free throws, and the Bronco lead back to 6. Was 1 a moment ago. Outside is O'Halloran. Swing the cross-court pass to Cortez.
Your Air Force, that short corner is going to be open because Boise State's zone is coming up so high.
Perez can't get the bounce. The ball knocked loose, but Cortez comes down with it. This is Huntemer. Clark on her. Joe Huntemer from Honolulu.
And if you're Air Force, run someone baseline on that low block.
And Elodie Lalott forces the turnover, reaching in on the basketball, and McNabb shuffled the feet. Watch this one again. Good defense by Elodie Lalott.
Yeah, nice defense out of that zone of protecting the paint off the dribble.
Clark. Hutton checks back in for Boise State. Jada across the timeline. Gets it out to Libby. Swing it far side to Pasco. On top to Gardner. Taryn lobs it down low for Lalott off her hands. No, deflected by Air Force. Probably not the smartest play to try to make, but it comes out okay for the Broncos.
That's going to be a difficult pass against this Air Force squad unless you have a big with a huge size advantage. Lalott has a little bit of a size advantage, but she's not a 6'4", 6'5" player in there.
That one's stolen away by the Air Force, and then a reach-in foul on Hutton, and that'll send the Air Force to the foul line. Hunnemer not made a free throw yet this season. She will get the chance to change that there as a loose ball, and Hutton called for the foul. Hutmer's third steal on the game. The 14th for the Air Force. Shot clock off in the final 19.8 seconds to go here in the quarter. 1 of 2, and Gardner runs down the rebound. Thompson double figures for the 9th time this season. She is currently on the bench. Gardner drives, forces it up, has it blocked away, but the Air Force player on the baseline, and the Broncos will get to inbound with 3.5 seconds left in the quarter, leading by 5. In the corner, Gardner has it stripped. No foul called. Gordy Presnell wanted the whistle, didn't get it. And we have played 3 grueling quarters here at ExtraMile Arena. As we go to break, we watch it again. Tatum Thompson leading the way for the Broncos with 10. Fourth quarter comes your way next. Tatum Thompson leading the way for Boise State with 6 points in that quarter, 10 in the game. The junior guard, just about her season average. The 9th time this season she has been in double figures. And we are set to go with the fourth quarter. Libby Hutton to inbound for Boise State, and right in front of our broadcast location, Mary Kay Narrow back in the game, as is Madison Smith. This is Taryn Gardner on the near side, out to Narrow. Air Force in their man defense. Natalie Pasco. Pasco 0 for 6 from the field. She's had a tough go of it. Down low for Hutton. Nice pass from the high post by Elodie Lalott.
That was a great read by Lalott. She saw that play developing early on in that possession. The high-low was going to be wide open because the Air Force defenders were going over the high side in the post.
Foul on Boise State. Broncos now with 13 assists on 18 made shots. That's a ratio that the coaches really like. Yeah,
really unselfish play. And so many players have the capability of handling the ball and seeing the floor. That was, again, a really nice read by Lalott. As soon as she got to the high post, she knew she was going to be able to dish it down to her post partner.
Hutton's second personal foul. This is Hunnemer. Gives it up to Smith. Smith with 14, Perry 15, leading the way as usual for Air Force. That ball knocked free, and Boise State's Taryn Gardner comes up with it. Perry and Smith averaging 30.7 combined points this year, second highest scoring duo in the Mountain West, and we're seeing why here tonight. Pasco, that pass a little slow getting there, and Perry knocked it away.
Yeah, if you're looking at Air Force, both Perry and Smith have a huge burden offensively to be able to get this Air Force squad in the scorers column.
But still aggressively on the defensive end, so nothing sacrificed. That one knocked free. Pasco loses it to Perry. And Milani goes to work, fires just inside the arc. Too strong. And the rebound, Hutton for Boise State. the freshman from Australia, and then a foul outside.
And you love for Madison Smith to continue to be aggressive and to try to get steals, but as Coach McIntyre is going to tell her, hey, she has to stay on the floor. She is one of their leading scorers. They need her on the floor both offensively and defensively if they're hoping to chip away at the 7-point deficit.
She picks up her 4th personal foul and draws a seat on the bench. This is Hansen outside, picked up there by O'Halloran. In the lane, Maya doesn't get to go, but it's punched out to Nera, who missed the shot, and the long rebound volleyballed out to Perry, leading the 1-on-3 break. Perry fouled by Pasco.
And Perry gets the ball out in transition. You can tell how aggressive she is with the ball, attacking the paint, getting Pasco on her heels here defensively, and attacking the rim. Nice job creating that contact and getting to the free throw line by Perry.
That's 3 fouls on Pasco. And Perry to the free throw line. 5 of 6 there so far tonight. And the first one is good. And Lalott high for the rebound. And even a simple handoff is a challenge as
yeah, they do not give up on anything.
Cortez challenged that handoff to Nero. Here's Pasco. Lalott calling for the ball, but the Broncos work it to the far side to Hutton. Gives it to Hansen. Maya with 7 on the shot clock. Baseline Hutton. Held ball, and the possession goes to Air Force. Another turnover by the Broncos. That's 23 on the contest.
Another example of Air Force competing on every possession. Great job by Jada McNabb coming over and help side and competing for that jump ball.
23 turnovers by Boise State. They average 15 and change a game. But that's what Air Force does to you. Lalott knocked it free. Hutton couldn't pull it in, and it'll stay at this end with the Falcons. Good hands, though, down low by Lalott to knock that one away, and it happened so fast, Libby Hutton couldn't get her hands on it.
Boise State's gotten some really good minutes from Lalott, both offensively and defensively. She's been active and aggressive on the defensive end. Great job on the boards.
5 on the shot clock as that one curls off for Cortez, and Boise State gets the rebound. Gunned the pass over to Hansen. Maya from Billings, Montana. Cut off, gets it to Nero. Pasco outside right, gets the screen from Lalott. Pasco goes baseline. Cut off nicely there by the defender. 7 on the shot clock for Nero. Corner Pasco. Natalie spins, puts it up in traffic, and drew the foul. Despite the shots not falling for Natalie, she has not lost her aggressiveness tonight.
She has. And you love to see that, right? And everyone on this squad realizes that on any given night, any Boise State player can be the leading scorer, and if it's not your night, what can you do to create opportunities for your teammates?
Muse comes in. Lalott gets a nice ovation as she goes to the sidelines.
It's really good minutes by Elodie.
And Pasco does the dance and drops through. That's her first point of the game. Natalie is a 93% free throw shooter. That one a little cleaner. And the Bronco lead is 8 with 6:45 to go. Slowly stretching the lead, outscoring the Air Force 4-1 here in this 4th quarter, crunch time.
Again, Boise State remains in the zone, the middle of the key at the high post and the baseline, the short corner will be wide open. Travel.
Cortez in the lane, no. Muse with the rebound, protects the ball.
Like a fullback.
Yes.
You have to protect the ball from this Falcon squad.
Muse, a little trouble with it out front. Knocked free, and it'll stay for Boise State. Hundemer said it was off of the Broncos, but the official right in front of the play says no, it's Boise State ball. They'll have 17 seconds on the shot clock.
If you're Boise State, when you put the ball on the floor, you have to keep your dribble alive. As soon as you pick up your dribble, that allows Air Force to be extremely aggressive in the passing lanes. Keep your dribble alive, dribble it back up to alleviate some of the pressure.
Cortez with the reach foul, her second. Narrow outside, guarded by Cortez. This is Hansen looking for some room on Hunnemer. Spins it down low for Hutton. She's got the position, can't get it to drop, but Abby Muse with the offensive rebound. Muse underneath, goes with the right hand, doesn't get it to drop.
Boise State's done a much better job on the offensive glass here in the second half.
Cortez from Allen, Texas. They swing it to the near side to O'Halloran from Lake Oswego, Oregon. And now Hunnemer with 5 on the shot clock. Perry fires for 3, doesn't get it, but the long rebound comes right down to Air Force. That shot missed, and Abby Muse is fouled from behind by Keely O'Halloran, who had the open shot, couldn't get it, and commits the foul on the follow. And the 4th team foul on Air Force, so the next foul, the Broncos in the bonus the rest of the way.
We'll see if Boise State can get a good offensive possession. They're 0 for 4 in their last 4 possessions. No field goals in their last 4.5 minutes.
Maya Hansen as we approach 5 minutes left in this one. Pasco outside left. To the top behind the screen by Muse. Drives, puts up the runner, doesn't get it to go. Abby Muse follows, no. Gets her own rebound, goes for the 3rd time and banks it home.
Great effort by Abby Muse. Boise State has done a much better job in the second half of going to the offensive glass, and the catalyst for that has been Abby Muse, relentless on the boards, getting second chance opportunities, and there she's the beneficiary of those efforts.
11 rebounds now for Abby Muse.
That was a nice pass.
And then the Broncos throw it away in the backcourt. We have a timeout. Air Force hanging around. It's a 8-point lead for Boise State. Abby Muse with the bucket. She's got 8. Broncos lead here in Boise. Boise State up by 8, and a big reason why tonight. We've talked so much about Air Force's defense. We can't leave the Broncos out of the picture.
The Broncos have done a phenomenal job. Air Force is shooting 27% from the floor, 31% from the three-point line, and that is due in large part to the energy and the effort by Boise State. They're getting out in passing lanes, making it really difficult for Air Force to penetrate in the paint.
Perry spins on Hansen. Out to Smith, who's back in the game, and she's too strong with that 3 ball. And Narrow with the rebound. Wondered how long they would keep Smith on the bench with 4 fouls. Well, the answer is with about 4.5 minutes to go, she was back up off of Stacey McIntyre's bench.
She has too huge of an impact on both ends of the floor for her to sit out too often.
Nice catch by Muse in the paint. That one spins out. And the rebound pulled down by O'Halloran, the sophomore from Lake Oswego. And now Perry with the ball in her hands, and she's always dangerous. Gets the screen from O'Halloran. Tries to split the D. Drives. Shot is blocked by Narrow. The ball free. Deflected. Pinballed out. And O'Halloran has it near midcourt. Gets it away at the shot clock buzzer, and it's an air ball. No change of possession, so no reset. Good job not to reset the clock.
Yes, excellent job defensively by Boise State. They kept Air Force to above the free throw line offensively. They were not able to penetrate the paint. They weren't able to cut baseline.
O'Halloran with the foul. That'll send Narrow to the line. Of course, we've talked almost every game about the bloodlines of Mary Kay Narrow. Grandfather is Basketball Hall of Famer Rick Adelman, so you know there's some good genes and some good basketball smarts as Millie Sharp checks in for the first time for Boise State.
But I love what MK did on that play was she made sure that the pass wasn't too long, and she met the pass. It was a nice crisp pass as she cut to the middle of the court against the press.
Come to the basketball.
Yes, you got to meet the pass against this Air Force team.
Well, against everybody, but especially Air Force.
Yeah, because they are going to stay, again, they're relentless in the passing lane. Sometimes you can get away with it. You cannot against Air Force.
Narrow, 6 of 6 from the stripe. She's got 8 points, and the Broncos have their biggest lead at 10, despite shooting 1 of their last 8 from the field. Perry in traffic gets the call against Narrow with 3:02 to go, and Perry back to the line. Cleared out nicely with the left hand, and then the foul called on Mary Kay Narrow. Sharp sits down, Hansen back in. Perry 6 of 8 from the line, 16 points. She and Smith each with 16. Thompson, the only Bronco in double figures, with 10. But balanced scoring. Thompson 10, Bays 9, Narrow, Muse, Lalott 8 apiece. 1 of 2 for Perry. With 3 minutes left, that pass to Abby Muse. She'll take it across the timeline and then give it up to Mary Kay Narrow. For a second, I thought that pass was coming to us.
It looked like you were wide open.
But I don't have very good hands, so it probably would have fumbled it.
I heard you're a pretty good shooter.
Lies, I say, lies. Muse down low for Thompson. Tough catch in traffic in a bucket.
Great job. Boise State's done a nice job in the second half of reading that. If you flash into the high post, whoever's on the low block, they're going to be able to pin and seal their player and get a nice lob for an easy layup.
Perry swishes the jumper from about 16 feet.
You love it when a player gets their spot, and that right elbow is Perry's spot.
2:10 left. The Bronco lead is 9. Now you do the calculations of how many possessions you have left. A tripping foul on O'Halloran will send Danny Bays to the free throw line, as Millie Sharp will check back in for Maya Hansen. We watch it again. Hansen went faked using the screen by Muse and then went the other way and drew the foul.
Yeah, nice read right there by Bays. And for Air Force, your challenge is, can you defend without fouling, particularly here with the last 2 minutes in the game, sending Boise State to the free throw line where they're shooting exceptionally well from the three-point free throw line, 89%.
Bays, a 73% free throw shooter, gets the friendly roll for her 10th point of the game. So now she and Thompson in double figures. Danny duplicates. And the Bronco lead, their largest of the night, 11, with 2 minutes to go. Perry fires, doesn't get it. Abby Muse. Now 1 rebound away from tying the career rebound record at Boise State as she pulls down her 12th of the game. That one knocked out of bounds by Cortez. Hansen checks back in for Sharp as they play offense-defense substitutions. Thompson takes her spot at the top of the key, and Danny Bays will trigger. There's Mary Kay Narrow outside. Thompson. Muse working outside with 8 on the shot clock, 1.5 minutes left in the game. Bays with the space, cut off, gets it in the corner. Narrow missed the 3, but runs down the rebound and then tosses it into the backcourt, and they're going to rule over and back against Boise State. It was not deflected by Air Force. The official thought about it and said, yeah, I don't think anybody touched it. Probably the right calls. We watch it again.
Yeah, really good hustle by Mary Kay Narrow on that. And while they didn't maintain possession, they ran an awful lot of time off the clock.
Down to 1:15 in this one. Boise State looks poised to even their conference record and remain perfect at home as Smith launches a long 3. Bays with the rebound, and she is in a collision with Joe Hunnemer, and the grad student from Honolulu picks up the foul. Who says basketball's not a contact sport?
Right, and as soon as if you're Boise State, as soon as you think you got past your defender, there's another one or two coming your way.
Huntemer, part of the mighty Mach 1 squadron at the academy, as Danny Bays now equals Thompson for game-high honors with 12 points. Make it 13. If this score holds, Gordy Presnell will now be 17-3 in his 20 years in conference home openers. Smith, step back, gets it to Perry, drives past Muse, in traffic, through the foul, and you have to figure if you're Gordy Presnell, you're telling your team no fouls here in the final 51 seconds.
Yeah, the best offense for Air Force in the second half, certainly in the fourth quarter, has been getting to the free throw line. And so if you're Boise State, you don't want to give them those extra chances to score with the clock stopped.
Air Force just 2 of 12 from the field here in the fourth quarter, and just 2 of 4 from the foul line. They've only got 6 points here in the quarter. I'll make it 7. And the timeout on the floor. And we will take it as well. Boise State, 51.5 seconds away from a 1-1 mark in conference play. We'll be right back. Final 51.4 seconds left. Danny Bays yucking it up with the official on the far side as Boise State has possession. 30 seconds on the shot clock, so even if you hold it and don't get off a shot, that'll whittle down more than half of the time left in this contest. Hansen, triple teamed, gets it out to Bays. Danny, the Broncos' leading scorer now tonight with 13. Gets the Muse screen, kicks it back on top for Tatum Thompson. They do the weave to Narrow, out to Thompson. Tatum drives and scores. Thompson now is perfect, 6 of 6 from the field, 14 points. And the Broncos lead by 13 as they pull away here in the fourth quarter. Cortez answers with a bucket for Air Force. Shot clock off, and this one's pretty much all over except the shouting, but don't tell Cortez that. She's still guarding Narrow at midcourt.
To the final buzzer. You got to respect that and appreciate that.
Broncos now improve to 11-4 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Air Force drops 2 in a row. They're now 10-4 and 0-2 in Mountain West Conference play. And I'm sure everybody on this Boise State team, Angela, is going to say that was a battle.
That was definitely a battle. And, you know, coming out of the break, coming off of the loss in your conference opener, you have to be pleased with the outcome, but there's still some things to clean up for this squad. They did a much better job in the second half of taking care of the ball and of boxing out and eliminating some of Air Force's second chance opportunities. But this is a big win. Air Force is not an easy team to play. They play a defensive style that is not familiar or similar to a lot of other systems.
Boise State with the win, 66-55. We're back to talk with a couple of the players from Boise State after we take this break on the Mountain West Network. Boise State with the 11-point win against Air Force here on New Year's night, and we're joined by Elodie Lalott. Elodie, an 8-point, 8-rebound night. What are the challenges of playing a team like Air Force?
They're really, really physical, so we just got to match that, actually try to play more physical. But yeah, it's Air Force, so they're physical. They have they're not scared of anything. So it's just matching that level and just being strong all the time.
Elodie, how important was it for you coming back home after your conference opener wasn't the outcome that you all wanted, coming back home in front of a great crowd here at ExtraMile Arena and getting this win?
We really wanted it. Like I said last time, we want to protect our home court. So we want to make sure that we keep doing that the whole season. Our home court is our goal. We just want to make sure we protect that, and yeah, that was our goal going into the game. So,
well, one of the things that you also do is protect the paint, and I noticed particularly in the second half you did a great job with a high-low game. Because defensively they go over the high side, you can pin and seal. You did a great job of flashing to the high post and lobbing into your post partner. What were some of the things that you all were looking to do offensively against this aggressive defense?
We wanted to take advantage of the fronting Fronting means that the high-low is going to be open, so we wanted to work on that. We haven't done great with it the whole season, so today was a good day to start working on that, and I think we did a good job.
Boise State out-rebounds Air Force 46-27. You had a big hand in that. I'm sure the coaches will be thrilled when they look at that number. But Air Force was very effective on the offensive glass. What problems did they cause you on the rebounding side, especially when they're offensive rebounding?
I mean, wait, sorry, can you ask that one more time?
How tough is it? Because they go to the offensive glass so hard.
Well, I mean, they just create other opportunities, so we just had to stop them. They're quick, they're really quick, so, and it feels like they have 5 guards, so especially for us post players, like, we just want to make sure we find someone, block them out. They can jump high, they're physical, so, and then they went after every rebounds, like they try to steal it and stuff, so just taking care of the ball and making sure we box out.
Well, another tough one Saturday as UNLV comes to town, but enjoy this one and Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Elodie Lalott, 8 points, 8 rebounds as Boise State beats Air Force by 11 here on this Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. I know it's all the holidays have us all discombobulated.
Yeah. And now we're joined by Tatum Thompson, and I guess the first question, Tatum, is after the beating you took in San Diego the other night to come back against a team like Air Force, which is so physical. How do you feel? I mean, you kind of got beat up a lot.
I actually feel fine. It's more of like it just looks bad, but I was glad we were able to come out and get back and get a win at home after that loss.
Well, Tatum, would love to give the viewers kind of a sense of how difficult it is to play against this aggressive Air Force defense. It's so unique. Not a lot of teams are able to play it. They're so aggressive on the ball. As soon as you pick up the ball, they're all over you. Like, what is it like out there on the floor? What are some of the decisions you're having to make with the ball?
Oh, yeah, they have fight in them, you know, at Air Force. They do a lot there, and they're always trapping and pressing, so we got to fight through it, and we made it through it.
Yeah, well, one of the things that stood out to us in the second half in particular, you were really aggressive with the ball, putting the ball on the floor and attacking the paint or taking your pull-up jumper. Like, when you were aggressive, this team is really successful. Like, what is your mentality going into games, or particularly in the second half when you guys are trying to extend your leads?
Yeah, I just knew I had to come out more aggressive because I've been having some foul trouble in the beginning of the half, so I got to come out aggressive offensively and then just keep my hands up on defense.
Coaches were saying that one of the keys for Boise State would be a quicker start. They've had some trouble the last couple of games coming out slow. How do you think you guys did tonight in coming out and really responding to that call from the coaches?
We've been starting out like our first possessions not very great, and we came out and started on a score, which was a good start for us, and then we just got to know how to keep it going and progress throughout the game.
Well, Tatum Thompson, perfect from the field, 6 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from the line, 14 points, didn't miss a shot. Seems like your game is rounding into shape, even despite the beating you took in San Diego. Your 9th double-figure scoring game. Look ahead a little bit to UNLV. What do you expect from the Rebels on Saturday?
We expect to fight. It'll be at home, so we'll have a little confidence boost, but we got to come out level-headed and ready to fight and be aggressive and defend the home court.
Well, Tatum Thompson, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year.
All right, Happy New Year. Thank you.
Boise State with 11-point win. Tatum Thompson joins us here courtside as the Broncos with the 11-point win. Shooting cooled off a bit. They were shooting very well in the first 3 quarters. Finally finished at 47, almost 48%. But the number on the left, Angela, holding Air Force to under 27% shooting.
Yeah, Boise State has to be really excited about their defensive effort, particularly against a team that is known for their defense. They did a great job of running Air Force off the 3-point line, and in the second half, holding them to 1 shot on the floor. So they'll have to carry that over in the next game against UNLV, because that's a well-coached team that does a great job offensively in their system.
One of the best free throw shooting nights in Boise State history, the 5th best. They were 20 of 22 from the line, and when the shots against an Air Force team are so challenging, making up those points at the line certainly helped.
Yeah, Air Force was extremely aggressive defensively, getting into early foul trouble in both the 3rd and the 4th quarter, and Boise State made them pay by getting themselves to the free throw line and hitting those free throws. Look
at the turnover margin. Coaches will not like to see that. 25-9. but an 11-point win.
Yeah, if you get a win with 25 turnovers, knowing that that's what the Air Force is trying to do to you, there's a lot to build on for sure, but there's a lot of film to be able to watch.
Boise State now 11-4 overall, 1-1 in conference play. Next up, doesn't get any easier, folks. The UNLV Rebels in town on Saturday. We will be with you here on the Mountain West Network at 6 o'clock Mountain Time to bring you the Broncos and the Rebels. For my broadcast partner, Angela Taylor, I am Mark Snyder. Thanks for watching, our entire crew. Happy New Year from Boise, Idaho. Broncos win by 11.